answer lies in the heart of battle.
King of Iron Fist Tournament.
Mugen TV versus Corner.
Welcome to the stage of history retold.
Hey guys, it's MugenLord here, and I'm back again with another video. Now in this video, we're going to talk about something that's a bit controversial, or something that I think is really important, especially if you're part of the FGC, or if you love fighting games in general, and just an overall gamer. Just recently, about a week or so ago, Super Arcade had pretty much officially closed down here in the US. Mike Watson, who's pretty much the owner of Super Arcade, has been going through a lot of financial problems and issues going on of how to pretty much keep the license to be able to keep the arcade open and everything. And they pretty much closed down shop back in 2014, but later on they were able to pretty much get it up and running through, you know, a couple other means and to get it done. But he was able to pretty much open it back up in April of 2018. But just recently, despite all that, they still end up having issues to financially keep arcades up and running, and they officially had to close the doors once again for Super Arcade. And I just think this is pretty much it. So pretty much with this video, I just wanted to just talk to you guys about this topic concerning arcades and fighting games in the arcades. Is the arcade scene officially dead in the West? Now we know that it's booming, especially over in the East, especially in Japan, especially like places like Thailand and Korea and those type of places that still pretty much play in the arcade till this very day. And it seems like here in the US, no matter how hard most people try to start their own arcades or to keep the arcade scene alive, it just dies out instantly and just quickly. And it's a shame. It's because I think arcades were pretty important, especially back then. If you look at Japan and other Asian countries that still maintain the arcade scene, you see that sense of camaraderie. You see that sense of pretty much getting together, socializing, and becoming a community and making friends and everything. But you see that here in the United States, that just doesn't happen. It's just hard to maintain it. And no matter how passionate that these developers are, or these arcade owners are, especially if they were a part of the FGC at one point in their life, just the passion alone is still not enough to maintain an arcade scene. And that's what's going on. And it seems like, from what I've been saying and with Mike Watson been saying, and pretty much arcade owners altogether in general, it seems like now that we have the internet, we have game consoles, and we are getting that arcade experience, especially when it comes to fighting games in general. We're getting that experience on our PCs, on our consoles and everything. So it pretty much killed that need to pretty much have arcades. I don't have to spend any money or anything like that to put into the arcade machines, when I can just buy the game once, bring it home, put it in my console, and just let it rip. And then I can go online. Or now that we have like apps and everything, such as Discord, where we can put communities together over the internet and join these communities and be able to get that experience over the internet. And it seems like the need to have a central hub where players get together and to pretty much share ideas, techniques, and just form together as a community and just make friends is prehistoric now in the West. It seems like it's just that was just the way of the past, and it seemed like it's just never going to come back. And I just think that it's really, really sad, and it's really a bummer. And the sad thing about it for me when it comes to arcades is that I never got a chance to really experience it as a kid growing up. Most of my times, especially playing fighting games, was done on consoles, especially the Super Nintendo. When Street Fighter 2 was released, that's all we played at the house, or over my uncle's house with my dad. When we had game night, we played Turtle Tournament. We had Fighting Champions, which was on Sega Genesis, which is like a very, very old fighting game. So many of you probably don't even know what that is. We had Virtual Fighter, we had Turtle Champions, X-Men Children of Atoms, we had the Marvel vs. Capcom series, and just the Versus series in general, of course Tekken, Mortal Kombat. All these games I experienced was more so done at my house or at friends, family, and relatives' house, and I never got a chance to experience those days of the arcades, because most of the time, especially during that time, I'm a very short guy. I'm about like 5'4". So you can imagine when I was young, I was even smaller. So I never got a chance to have fun or experience the arcade because I was so small and nibble, couldn't even reach the arcades machines. I couldn't even touch the controllers and the sticks or anything. So by the time I did grow up and was able to reach the arcade sticks, especially in Philadelphia, most of the arcades pretty much was beginning to fade and disappear. The only arcade I did experience, especially in Philadelphia as I did get older, down on South Street, there was an arcade, and where I was introduced to X-Men versus Street Fighter for the first time, and of course Marvel's Superheroes versus Street Fighter was out around the same time too. So I seen both of the Versus games and really enjoyed that. Of course, they had Tekken 3 and Mortal Kombat 3 and everything there, so I thought that was pretty cool. And then at Virginia Beach, on the shore and everything, they had a big arcade scene there as well, and I got a chance to experience arcades. But other than that, that was the only experience that I had, and it's sad to say that it seemed like Super Arcade was one of those arcades that was still trying to hang in strong and try to keep that scene going. And it also makes me wonder is that, like, is it really profitable, to host these things, and it, especially for the FGC, to bring players down to be able to play in these arcades and stuff, and starting to see that time and time again it constantly closes down, and it seems like the FGC alone to get these people to come in and support it is still just not enough to maintain that. And it also too, I think what also is killing the arcade scene is that you can build your own scene at home, and I think that's what a lot of people is doing as well, especially using the consoles, using PC and stuff. There's a lot of homegrown grassroots communities that you can literally build at home. At one point, game night at my house was pretty much like that, where we had played nothing but fighting games, and we had over 30 to 40 people crowd in our house with a bunch of consoles just plugged up in multiple different televisions. And at one point, it was funny too, we was also playing Dragon Ball Z Budokai at one point too. We had a bunch of setups for that at one point, but that's what it seemed like is going on. You can build your own scene at home. You don't have to pay a license or anything to be able to establish a commercial building, and you don't have to get zoning passes or anything like that, or any type of liquor license or anything. All that stuff that costs money that you have to pay out monthly, you don't have to really deal with that, and there's none of that. There's really no concern for it, as long as you pretty much can start at home at your house. And I think that's the thing that's really killing it, the arcade scene over here in the West. But it's like I said before, it's doing pretty well in Japan. It's just sad to see. We also had Chinatown Fair, which closed down years ago too. That was in New York, New York City, I believe it was. And Super Arcade, they were the two main arcades that everyone recognized, and it was still growing. But it's just that's just it, and it's just sad to hear that. But I definitely want to hear your thoughts on this whole situation as far as the arcade scene. Do you think that there's still a place for it, or do you think there's something that they can pretty much do to try to revitalize it, revive it, and try to get everyone back into the arcades? If you don't think so, definitely let me know in the comment section below, because I like to hear both perspectives. Do you think it's hope for the arcade scene, or do you just think it's just a wrap here in the West that arcades should just not even attempt to try to come back? I definitely want to hear your thoughts. So if you like this video, please like, subscribe, pass it around. It definitely helped me in the algorithm. And if you want to be notified for more videos related to fighting games and just arcades in general, please hit the bell to be notified, and like I said, hit that subscribe button. So that wraps up this video. If you liked the video, make sure, like I said, pass it around. This is MugenLord signing off, and I'll definitely see you game fiends later. Peace out. It looks like you reached the end of the video. Well, while you're at it, check out some of my other discussion videos by clicking on the annotations below. And don't forget to follow me on other social media platforms to stay up to date with future content. Signing off.